Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is 7 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7. I am Brian Wilson coming to you live by Apple iPhone. We're struggling with a little bit of our technology here at Hop Springs, but we hope to have that worked out just in a short while. In the meantime, let me just, if you'll bear with the audio quality here, I'll try to go forward and get the first part of the show started while we work out the technical details. We apologize for having to do this, but that's sometimes these technical problems do take a little while to track down. As you know, we're at Hop Springs because we are getting ready for the big debate, which will be carried live here tonight on Super Talk 99.7. And our debate coverage is brought to you by the Glock Store, who is the sponsor, but we're carrying the CNN debate live. It will start at 8 o'clock tonight, and our plan for the show here today is that I'll be here from 3 until about 6. All the guys will be joining me in the 6 o'clock hour. We'll do an extra hour from 7 to 8, and then we'll carry the debate starting at 8 o'clock tonight. Again, brought to you by the Glock Store. There are some rules that have been put in place for this debate that, well, quite frankly, give me a little bit of concern. I'll start with that. CNN has put some restrictions on how this must be done. In other words, this is not being done by the Commission on Presidential Debates. This is being done by CNN, separate and apart, and so the rules that normally apply here do not apply. The division of Warner Brothers Discovery, Inc., CNN, is providing a live feed of the debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump to other networks, and those outlets must run it full screen with the CNN logo visible. So Fox News, ABC News, maybe NBC, and some of the others that are going to carry the debate must carry it full screen with the CNN logos available. They must refer to the event as the CNN presidential debate. And if you're carrying the simulcast as we are, we must refer to it as the CNN presidential debate simulcast. This is very different. It's not, as I said, being produced by the Commission on Presidential Debates, which is a nonprofit. So CNN gets to set the rules here. White House Correspondents Association, the people who cover the White House on a regular basis, have written to CNN requesting that the network allow a representative to sit in the studio during the debate. See, there'll be no audience. And that was worked out long ago. So they said, well, can we have somebody there to watch what happens, during the commercial breaks, et cetera? Things may happen which are newsworthy, and we want to have someone there. The network has denied that. So that means that the only people who will know what goes on inside that room during the commercial breaks will be CNN. CNN cited security and space concerns. They've set up a separate location, I guess you would call this the spin room, not far away, where some 800 people will be watching the feed across the street from the main studio. The concern among the other networks is that something could happen in the debate room that only CNN journalists would witness. And unlike past contests, the debate doesn't have a live audience, and microphones of the candidates will be muted when no one is speaking. That could mean that rival journalists miss gestures, asides that are made during CNN's coverage, or someone more serious like a medical emergency involving one of the candidates. CNN is hosting the debate in Atlanta, and it will have no doubt bigger numbers than it normally gets. Its audience is about 1.8% of the possible available audience, and they normally have about 596,000 viewers a night, far behind cable news rivals Fox and MSNBC. So that will happen. Now, there has been talk, I know Matt Murphy was talking about it, about a 2-minute delay. I've seen other people say a half-minute delay. There is this going across the internet right now. I don't think there's anything to it, as best I can tell, but we'll keep an eye on that and see what happens. One thing that might, if you were CNN, you might put the other networks on a 2-minute delay so that their broadcast of the debate would begin 2 minutes after yours. I could see where you would want to maintain a competitive advantage, but I'm not sure that would really help you out all that much, because I think that if you're a CNN fan, you're watching it on CNN. If you're a Fox fan, you're probably watching it on Fox. Even if there was to be a 2-minute delay, I don't think it makes any difference. So there you have that. And I think the big question here The question that I want to know more than any other question answered is who shows up for the debate? I mean, let's talk about Joe Biden. Do we get the mumbling, bumbling, stumbling, low energy, barely can understand him at times, Joe Biden? Or do we get the Joe Biden who showed up during the State of the Union address, who seemed to be shouting and seemed to be just a little bit angry about how things were going? We get whoever shows up there, and will he have energy? Will he be pharmacologically enhanced and all that? We don't know. And then I think there's another question that's just as important, and it has to do with who shows up on the other side of the table. Donald Trump. Will he come in hot like he did during the first presidential debate 4 years ago? Will he come in, trying to throw Biden off balance? Will he come in a sort of an aggressive way? Or will he lay back and let Biden make his mistakes and handle it a little more adroitly, let's say, a little more low key? So who's going to show up, I think, is the big question. There's no doubt at all that this debate has the potential to be perhaps more important than any other event that's happened. This could well decide the outcome of the election. If Joe Biden has a bad night, he's already behind in the polls, and it will not help him at all if he has a major stumble, if he makes a mistake, if he says something stupid, if he has a frozen moment, if he stutters and mumbles like he has in the past. It will not be a good night for Joe Biden. And again, Trump, it's his basically to lose at this point because everybody expects him to be on his game much more than Biden. The expectations for Joe Biden, I would say, are quite low. If he shows up and he's breathing and he doesn't make a major gaffe, then it's going to be a pretty good night for him. I think everybody will say, well, see, here he is. He was a little energetic. He didn't make any major mistakes, and that will put some people. However, if he has a bad night, you have to consider the possibility that Joe Biden may not be the nominee when all is said and done. I mean, the Democrats are already in a panic, and understandably so, at the poll numbers, which I'll give you some of those in just a few moments. Very concerned about all that. But then the question becomes, well, okay, even if if the poll numbers are really, really bad, will they have to do something about it? Will somebody then go to Biden and say, Joe, it's just not going to happen for you. You need to figure out something else. You need to come and let somebody else have a chance. Would that be a problem? Yes. Would that be difficult? Yes. Could it be done? Yes, absolutely. It could be done. So much to consider here as we begin this. Now, we want to give you some numbers. I have some 2024 numbers. First of all, I think you'll find this as we enter the debate right now, Nate Silver has made a personal projection. Nate Silver does the 538.com. He says that as it stands today, looking at all the polling data and looking at the battleground states especially, Trump has a 66% chance of winning, and Joe Biden has a 33% chance of winning. And so, basically, 2/3 a chance, 2 out of 3 chance of winning this debate, according to Nate Silver. There are some new numbers out, most notably from the New York Times Siena folks, and they show a trend away from Biden and toward Trump. And a two-way matchup between Trump and Biden, the New York Times says that Trump would win right now by 4. That is in sync with another poll that came out just the other day, which sort of surprised a lot of people. The Quinnipiac poll, their two-way, also has Trump leading Biden by 4. That's still within the margin of error, but not by much. In the 5-way, New York Times says it would be Trump by 3. In the 5-way matchup, Quinnipiac says it would be Trump by 6. So there is a difference there. Rasmussen came up with a poll the other day, which had a lot of people with their eyebrows raised, suggesting that in a two-way matchup between Trump and Biden, Trump would win if the election were held today by 9. And if it were a 5-way matchup, it would win by 10. Those numbers seem to be a little bit outside what other polls are showing, but maybe they're onto something. Who knows? We also like to look at the battleground states. Once again, here's a battleground number from Wisconsin. Marquette did the polling. I have it as a two-way tie. In a two-way matchup in the state of Wisconsin, it would be a tie. In a five-way matchup in the state of Wisconsin, Trump would win by 3 points. In most of the stuff that I see, when you go to the five-way matchup, that'd be Trump, Biden, RFK Jr., West, and Stein. He tends to do better when there's all five people in the mix. When it gets to a two-way, in most polls, not all, but most polls, he does not as well. But he's still leading in all the numbers. And here's another little interesting thing from Gallup, which most people look at as sort of the gold standard of polling data. The favorability ratings of each candidate as it stands right now. Now both men are underwater. There are a lot of people out there who would like to have different personalities involved in this election. But given that we have two that are, definitely in the running now, maybe 3, 4, or 5, Trump's favorability stands at 46%, still under the 50% mark, but it compares nicely to Biden's 37%. Perhaps the better way to look at the Gallup poll is to study the independent voters, because, Republicans are going to vote for Trump and Democrats are going to vote for Biden, right? Well, among the independents, Trump leads 41-33. In other words, Trump is up by 8. Up by 8. Now, RFK is up, has a favorability rating among independents of 39. So RFK actually has, among independents, a higher favorability rating than does Joe Biden, but not quite as high as Donald Trump. So these are the sort of things that we're looking at as we go into the debate tonight, which is really going to be something else. AP writes how the Biden-Trump debate could change the trajectory of the 2024 campaign. President Joe Biden and his Republican rival Donald Trump will meet for a debate that offers an unparalleled opportunity for both candidates to try to reshape the political narrative. Biden, the Democrat incumbent, gets the chance to reassure voters that at 81, he's capable of guiding the U.S. through a range of challenges. The 78-year-old Trump, meanwhile, could use the moment to try to move past his felony conviction in New York and convince an audience of tens of millions that he's temperamentally suited to return to the Oval Office. Biden and Trump enter the night facing fierce headwinds, including a public weary of the tumult of partisan politics. Both candidates technically are disliked by the majority of Americans, and that is true when you look at the overall polling of people who are not perhaps as politically interested as you and I. You find that there's a lot of people out there that say, is there another choice? Still, nonetheless, right now, the two candidates that have arrived on the stage at this very key moment are Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And tonight should be a very, very interesting night as we watch to see exactly how things start to play out. We're going to be here all the way until 8 o'clock tonight, and then the debate will start at 8 o'clock right here on Super Talk 99.7, presented by the good folks at Glock Store. They're our sponsors tonight. I hope that you'll be with us for the rest of the afternoon. And if you get the chance, come on by. Some people already have come by and are catching a cold one here at Hop Springs in Murfreesboro. We hope that you will join us before the night is over. Right now, it is 20 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7.
Well, there are no pills or spinal creams that can magically open up your spinal disc and take the pressure off your nerves. You have two choices, surgery or non-invasive spinal decompression. I go to the Wellness Institute of Nashville, and I chose the non-surgical spinal decompression. The good folks over there, Dr. Kevin Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, have state-of-the-art facilities, the latest in non-surgical procedures, and right now they're offering half off spinal decompression treatment and half off their KT knee machine, which is sort of like the, spinal decompression for the knee. It gently elongates the knee and allows the healing therapy to get deep within the joint. Now, if you're a new patient, here's what you get. You get an exam, you get a consultation, you get your first treatment, and an x-ray if you need one, and it only costs you $23. I'm Brian Wilson, and I put my stamp of approval on the Wellness Institute of Nashville, so call them today at 615-246-5009. Learn more at painisbad.com.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
The Metro Nashville Police Department has released a 911 call and body camera footage connected to that fatal officer-involved shooting in Bellevue this morning. We'll have some audio. And a former Chattanooga police chief is indicted. We'll have those stories at 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It is 3:25 on Super Talk 99.7. I'm Brian Wilson, and thank you. Our technical difficulties have been resolved, and now we're back up and operating as we should in full FM fidelity. That's right. We got microphones, we got headphones, we got it all working out here at Hop Springs. It's going to be a long night. I mean, we're going to be here until 8 o'clock doing live broadcasting. And as I mentioned, I'll be running from now to about 6 o'clock. And then at 6 o'clock, I'll be joined by Dan Mandis and Chris Hand and Matt Murphy, and we're going to carry on for another couple of hours. And then at 8 o'clock, we will go straight to debate coverage, which we are carrying live thanks to an agreement with the folks at CNN. And it's all being presented to you this evening by the good folks at the Glop store. So there we have that. I must say, we got Jay Harper in the newsroom. We got Chris Weber in the control room with all the blinky buttons, pushing the buttons to make sure that everything works right. And it is working right now.
Yeah,
you just got to get a big enough hammer and just beat the technology into submission, and so we're glad that that's been resolved. So the other thing that I'm going to say is that I had the most pleasant day today. I got up early. We have to prep a little early because I'm carrying everything. including, I don't know if you can see it, Chris. I have my
Oh yeah,
my
your little trusty.
my little. It looks like the kind of things that they put magazines in the dentist office. I brought that so that I could keep all my stuff. So I brought all that stuff over here, and I'm trying to make sure that I have everything that I need. But so I left a little early, and I just I'm where I live, and so I put it into my computer, my ways that I wanted to go to Hop Springs, and I had the most delightful drive over here.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, it was back country roads, and I went through a little town called Noreen, and I saw roads and places that I've never seen in all the years that I have lived here in Tennessee. Just beautiful. I use the term again, bucolic. Countryside. I found some really interesting things. There was one guy I passed by his house, and he had rocks out by the road. Has a lot of rocks apparently on his property, and he had all the rocks stacked up one on the other. Like all of these were little pieces of art.
Like
where
totem
they stacked,
poles?
Yeah, but they were just stacked. The big one, and then a smaller one, then a smaller one.
Yeah.
And some of them were like, 10 levels high.
Wow.
I just, that's what he did with his rocks. It was fascinating. I wanted to stop and look, but I had to get on down the road. But it's just gorgeous countryside. And I guess enough people got a little bit of rain that it was, sort of green again after being sort of dry. That was the thing yesterday, is that, as you know, I was out yesterday, and I want to say thanks to Matt Murphy for filling in. I had to have a little surgery on my left hand, the vestige of my misspent youth without any sunblock. I had to take one of those little cells had to be cut off my finger, and so I was out yesterday. But when we got home, we were sitting home, and all of a sudden, here comes, we hear a thunderbolt. And we look outside, and here comes a storm.
Yep.
And, the first bit of rain was intense. So Cabana wife and I were sitting out on the back porch that's our cabana, overlooking the pool. And, we're sort of covered there, but, it was really starting to come down. And then it really started to come down in a way that, I haven't been in many storms that intense. And apparently they say it was straight line wind, but it seemed to me to have a little rotation to it as it came through. But it came right over the house and right across. And I'm telling you, it was intense. But apparently, I looked around. Some people had trees that were knocked down, but it just looked like to me when I went driving around this morning and, out in the country there, that there were a lot of places that seemed to have, sort of borderline. I hate to say the word tornadic because nobody ever said that there was a tornado, but these trees were stripped pretty bad in some places. So it must have been a pretty intense storm that came through for some people. But it was over in a short while and no harm done. But just again, it was nice to see a little rain after the hot temperatures today. What do you got in the way of a temperature today?
Let's see. I have 80. Is that right? 85 degrees. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. It's not near as bad as it was. It's very much more pleasant. So settle in, everybody. If you are going to come on out, I want to suggest to you come out early and get a chair. This is going to be an all-night affair with supper on the ground. We're going to be here until the debate, and then the debate starts at 8 o'clock. And, it's a beautiful facility here at Hop Springs. And it's going to be, if you love politics, can you imagine a more important debate than this one? Debates come and debates go, and they aren't generally seen as potentially changing for any campaigns. Every once in a while something will happen that will be a defining moment in a debate. But there's a lot going on and a lot at stake here for both of these candidates. It's hard to understate how important this is. So we'll give you all of that. We're going to be here again all the way to 8 o'clock. Come out, get you a chair. I already see some people have pulled up some nice cold adult beverages. So come join in the fun. Right now, time for the news at 31 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock.
Good afternoon. It is 3:31. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. A mix of clouds and sun. We're at 85 degrees. We've got the full weather forecast and a traffic report on the way. The Metro Nashville Police Department has released a 911 call and body camera footage connected to a fatal officer-involved shooting in Bellevue this morning. The incident began after a man called 911 to report his brother, identified as 25-year-old Max Van Sickle, had attacked him with a knife.
Hello, 911. Hi, my little brother is having a manic episode. He has tried to stab me with a knife. I don't know where he is. We're at Drive. He's somewhere in the lot, and I don't know where he is.
The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is investigating the stabbing that led to the shooting that killed Van Sickle. He ran downstairs while armed with a large knife, as the body cam shows, as responding officers approached his apartment in the early morning hours this morning. Following the shooting, all three of the officers that were involved have been placed on routine administrative assignment while the TBI investigates, and this will remain ongoing. TBI also says that former Chattanooga Police Chief 56-year-old Celeste Murphy has been indicted on felony and misdemeanor charges for allegedly knowingly entering false information on several government documents.
Investigators say this was someone sworn to uphold the law doing the exact opposite. 1 count of illegal voter registration, 1 count of false entries on official registration or election documents, 3 counts of false entries in governmental records, 3 counts of forgery, 3 counts of perjury, 6 counts of official misconduct. The charges are related to Murphy establishing residency in Chattanooga, claiming she knowingly lied by swearing to their truth by signing the documents. Murphy turned herself in to agents at the Hamilton County Jail this morning, then was released on a $19,000 bond. She had served as Chattanooga Police Chief for just over 2 years when she resigned. Ken Weaver, WTN News.
That is the latest news. Traffic and weather, they are next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
All right, King & Associates Insurance, located in Brentwood, has been there as an independent agency for more than 25 years, over 25 years. Now, an independent agency, believe it or not, is exactly what you want. They're the kind of company that can sell you, they don't have to sell you the thing that they, the one thing they have, one product they have on the shelf, like a lot of other insurance companies. You go with an independent agency, they can shop around. They can find some kind of a policy that gives you more bang for your insurance buck. And so that's really what you want, right? If you're going to be paying for insurance, you want the best insurance you can get for the money, and they can find that for you. The other thing that I love about an independent agency, and this is a big deal, if you've ever had to deal with one of those internet companies that sells insurance, you know what it's like to get on the phone. You can be there for hours waiting for a human being. But if you call this number, 615-329-8121, you don't get a call center. You get an actual human being who will actually take care of your problem. What a concept. concept, huh? Multi-policy discounts, they're the king of that. 20, 25, 30, 35%. Huge savings are possible. So get your royal review with King & Associates Insurance. Just log into tkinginsurance.com. Again, that's tkinginsurance.com. King Insurance & Associate. Royal treatment and great rates.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionability, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com.
It is 39 minutes now past the hour of 3 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7. I'm Brian Wilson, your friend and radio buddy, and you're listening to The Drive. This is a big day. We're at Hop Springs live. Already a bunch of folks. Can you folks say hello? Let's hear a little up out here. Yeah, there they are. See, we've already got a crowd going here. So if you're going to come on out to Hop Springs tonight to attend our event and to stay for the debate, you need to get on out here. Again, it is a beautiful venue here. We've got a nice setup here, and all the guys will be here starting at about 5 o'clock. So if you want to come in and get a table, get something cool to drink, that this would be a good time to do it. Now, I want to open up the phone lines at 615-737-9986, a debate question for you. And I'll ask this a couple of different ways over the course of the program, but my question for you here, and I really want to know your opinion, is which Trump do you want to show up tonight? Do you want the firebrand come in with, snorting and fighting and ready to, really take on the world, as we have seen him do many times? Or do you want the more reserved Donald Trump, somebody who sort of lays back and does what I call the rope-a-dope with Biden? Just be, sign of cool, calm, collected, and just point out all the things that he says that are just insane. 615-737-9986. Again, would love to have you call in and share your... I actually am hoping, I'll give you my opinion, then I want to hear yours for sure. I'm kind of hoping for the lower-key Trump. I think Alex Castellanos the other day had the most brilliant approach to how to handle this debate. If he were involved in it, here's what he said he would do. He said, I would come in and I would say, I would let him talk. I'd let him say his piece. I'd let him get going, and then I would say, well, Joe, you may be a little confused about that. Let me refresh your memory. Let me, Joe. I know you've probably forgotten this, but here are what the facts really are. And so I think if he does that, not only does it show him to be, somebody who can, come on the stage and not be that raging bull that we sometimes get with Donald Trump. And I like that. I mean, there's a time and a place for that. I love it very much. But I think in this particular case, that's probably not the right approach, given the fact that, you have an opportunity to really score points by just pointing out the mistakes that the other man has made. It's going to be interesting. So that's my thought. 615-737-9986. What's your thought? We'll start with Lindsay. Lindsay, good afternoon. You're on with Brian on the Drive. Lindsay, what do you think should happen tonight?
Well, Brian, I think that I should probably go outside.
Say again?
I think that Joe's going to drop by the end of it. He's going to be dropping at the end.
All right. So you think he should come on strong? Lindsay is actually calling from inside the hall here, ladies and gentlemen. So strong or weak or a little lower key?
If they don't take him back with the question, he's going to come on strong, and Joe's going to drop at the end.
All right. You may be right, because one of the questions here was, can he stand on his feet for 90 minutes? At one point, I heard this is going to be like everybody sitting at a table, but it's changed somewhere along the line, and they're both going to be standing. And one of the big questions that while Joe was squirreled away at Camp David, they were trying to get his medications right, the question that I'm wondering is, can he actually stand for 90 minutes? We know Trump can do it because we've seen him do it at rallies. He stands for an hour or 2 hours, and he can be sweating profusely, and he just keeps going. What about Joe Biden? Is he up to the task? Mike in South Pittsburgh, you're up next with the Drive. What do you say, Mike?
How you doing, Brian? Enjoying your show as usual.
Thank you.
I just hope that Trump kind of chills out and just hits him with the fact that the last 3.5 years has been a disaster, and everybody who has a half a brain knows that we're a whole lot well off unless you're an illegal alien.
The thing about it is he comes into this debate hall leading. I mean, I've got a story here from one of the Mark Penn, a very respected pollster. He polls for Democrats, but I mean, he's a good guy, and he tells you how it is. And he said, look, if this election were held today, it's pretty clear that Donald Trump would win. So I mean, you come in, you've got the wind at your back. You don't really have anything to prove because most people remember your presidency and the things that you did and you accomplished and how they were better off. So, I mean, you don't really have anything to prove. What you need to do is just, let Joe defend his record and then just pick him apart, it seems to me. Thanks for the call, Mike. I appreciate it. John in Murfreesboro. John, you're up with Brian on the Drive. What do you think, John?
Hi, Brian. I'm going to go back a little bit of history here. Never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So, again, I'm not voting for either right now. I'm waiting for Trump's VP pick. I'm not going Joe. I feel bad for the poor man. I hope just let him eat his ice cream and be with his grandkids. But at this current moment, it's me. It's the VP pick or a third party. I feel bad for the Libertarians right now. I'm not going to go there. So it really is what's going to happen tonight. But don't help your enemy when they're making big mistakes.
Yeah,
so,
when your enemy is making a mistake, just sit there and watch. Say nothing. That's not a bad strategy. Thank you for the call, John. I appreciate it. Steve in Cookeville, you're on with Brian on the Drive. Steve, tell me which Donald Trump you want to see show up tonight.
Hey, I want to see Donald J. Trump, my president, take no prisoners.
Just come in with flamethrowing and the whole 9 yards. Snorting, ripping.
Whole 9 yards, all guns blazing.
Yep, just go at him, man. All right, well, okay. And why do you think that's the right approach?
Because Joe Biden would do the same to him were he mentally able to.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, Steve, thank you for the call. Greatly appreciate it. Samuel in Hendersonville. Samuel, you're up with Brian on the drive. What do you say?
Yes, Brian. I agree with you. I want to see a more mellowed out Trump because I feel like would I love to see him just come in guns blazing? I absolutely would, but that's not going to appeal to people that are in the middle. They're on the fence. If he comes out and he mellows out, it's going to show those people that are on the fence, hey, this is an actual president. This isn't, angry Twitter Trump. This is President Trump. And it's going to appeal to a lot more people, especially if Biden is sitting there walking all over himself because he doesn't know what in the world he's talking about.
Yeah,
so that's
look,
just my success.
Here's the thing. When they juiced him up for the State of the Union address and did whatever they did, I don't know, they gave him 2 or 3 Red Bulls or something, I don't know, whatever they did, he was angry, and he came out. But all he had to do that night was get to the podium and read the teleprompter. That's all he had to do. It's actually, for somebody who's been around it, it's not that hard, really. You walk in a room, you read the teleprompter, you leave, and that's considered a successful event. He won't have a teleprompter tonight. He's got to have it all upstairs, and we all know he doesn't have it upstairs. We know that he's not good with facts. You know what I read the other day? I read that they put 14 different advisors in the room during the preparations. 14 different people were coming at him with ideas. Do you think he's up to handling the ideas of 14 different points of view? Do you think he can memorize that stuff? I don't think he can. And I think there's just a little bit of arrogance about Joe Biden that he thinks that he doesn't need all that help. And he's a little resentful because he thinks that people think he's going to fail, and he doesn't think he's going to fail. He doesn't think he's failing now. But, I mean, I think that you got to realize without a teleprompter, it's just whatever comes out of his mouth and whatever he can remember. And I don't think he's in a position to remember much. Thank you for the call. Let's see, I get a couple more in. Jeremy in Hillsboro. Jeremy, good afternoon. You're on with Brian on the drive. Jeremy, which Donald Trump do you want to have tonight?
So I want to have the Donald Trump. I would like to see him just be kind of cool and calm. I think the left is going to try to point him across as being a narcissist or a dictator. So I wish he would be cool and calm. And then a couple other things to touch on. I think the reason they want him to stand up, if they were sitting down, Joe would fall asleep. And it has to do with the 2-minute thing. The only thing I worry about that is what is CNN going to censor? What are they going to edit? If they ask Joe a question and it takes him 10 or 15, 20 seconds to answer, or are they going to cut that part out of it? If Trump has a really good answer, are they going to cut that part out? I guess that's my concerns. What's yours, Brian?
Well, I don't think that they can get away with that. I think it would be obvious if they did. I know, like, the 2-minute thing that I've heard is rumbling all over the internet. I haven't seen anything authoritative about that. I've seen some stuff out there. I've seen some rumbles and some rumor, but I'm not sure that would be the case. So I don't know. Right now, until I see something a bit more authoritative, I'm gonna pass on that 2-minute delay thing that everybody's been talking about. I don't think that it's going to happen, but we'll see. But even with the delay, you can't get away with chopping it up in 2 minutes. I understand a little bit about the technology, having worked in television. It's hard to do. It would be almost impossible to do. June in Murfreesboro, wrap us up. You're on with Brian on the drive. June, what do you think?
I think we need both. Honestly, we need him to defend himself with impurity. I mean, just no two ways about it. We also need a light at the end of the tunnel. America needs hope. And without hope, we're all doomed. So we need a little of both. Defend himself, but then prove what he can do better, what he has done better.
All right, fair enough. I appreciate that. Great calls, great ideas there. One thing that I'm hoping, and I'll just add this into my wish list of what I hope happens tonight. I hope that we're looking forward and not backwards. I mean, you have to look at Biden's debate and his record. You have to look at his record, so you have to look back a little bit. But I mean, what I really want to hear is what are the ideas for the country going forward? And we could relitigate the past over and over and over and over, but what good does it do anybody? You can't change anything that has already occurred. So why don't we focus on what might happen if I were president or if the other person were president? Well, what do you want to accomplish? All right, listen, we got to move on. 51 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock on Super Talk.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
The Metro Nashville Police Department releasing a 911 call and body camera footage connected to this morning's fatal officer-involved shooting in Bellevue. Also, President Biden, he's already in Atlanta for tonight's debate, and the spin's already begun. And Attorney General Merrick Garland, he speaks out about last weekend's clashes outside a Los Angeles synagogue. We'll have those stories at 4 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, there you have it. It is now 58 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7. Taking a look at the markets right now, all screens are green. Dow Jones Industrial up that 36 points. The S&P up 5. The NASDAQ up 53. So what's driving the markets today? Time to check in with John Maxon over at Beacon Capital Management for more on that. Good afternoon, John.
Yeah, good afternoon, Brian. Yep, the market was up a little bit flat. Not a lot of real key economic information today. A big report coming tomorrow. We did get some interesting information. GDP was revised today up 1.4 from 1.3, but still below 2%, which you want to see for a baseline. Jobless claims declined for the second month in a row, and then yields on treasuries fell. That could be good for mortgage rates if that continues. But what everyone's going to be watching tomorrow, in particular the Fed, is the PCE index, which is the Fed's favorite and really a key inflation report, and will indicate a lot as to whether there might be a rate cut in July. So that comes out tomorrow morning. The Fed and the market's going to be watching that really closely, but a pretty flat day in the market today.
All right, thank you very much, John. And listen, to find out all the things that John Maxon and all the good people over at Beacon Capital Management can do to help you get ready for your retirement, just go to their website, askbeaconnow.com. We're at Hop Springs Live for the big debate tonight. You're listening to Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Back after the news. Well, no, actually, I'll be back right now to read this about the good folks over at Busy Bee. Busy Bee HVAC and Plumbing. They're the place you want to go. I mean, this is the time of year where you wake up and you realize, you know what, that air conditioning is just not getting it done. Something needs to be worked on. Why don't you call the number I would call, 775-7833. That's the number to Busy Bee HVAC and Plumbing, and they will buzz right over to your house and get you going. Get you up and running. That's what you want, isn't it? Right now, if you call, they will waive the $89 dispatch fee if you need repair work done. 10% off all indoor air quality products as well. And if you find that you have that time of year where, okay, the system, it's not working, it needs to be repaired. Why don't we see what we can do about that? Well, you can get a good deal, up to 12 months on approved credit for HVAC replacement systems. No payments for 12 months with approved credit. If you have a big plumbing project, how about 15 months? No payment, approved credit, zero interest for 15 months. They got other specials going on. $500 select tankless water heater, $500 off an upright S&C water heater, 15% off a whole home drain repipe. And if you need big plumbing problems, like a drain that's not flowing correctly, for $99, they put a camera in your drain and find out what's going on. $79 for a water heater flush. I mean, you need to reach out to them. And by the way, become members of the Beehive Club. That's right. 615-775-7833 online at busybehvac.com.
Good afternoon. It is 2 minutes past 4 p.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. A mix of clouds and sun, 86 degrees on Music Row. A complete forecast and another traffic report are on the way. The Metro Nashville Police Department releasing a 911 call and body camera footage connected to a fatal officer-involved shooting in Bellevue this morning. The incident began after a man called 911 to report his brother, identified as 25-year-old Max Van Sickle, had attacked him with a knife.
He did stab you with a knife, though? He has cut me and put it up to my neck. I had to stop him from stabbing me. I only got cut a little bit on my hand from stopping that.
The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is investigating the stabbing that led to the shooting and killing of Van Sickle, who ran downstairs armed with a huge knife as responding officers approached his apartment early this morning. Following the shooting, all three of the officers on the scene have been placed on routine administrative assignment while the TBI investigation advances and remains ongoing. Well, President Biden, as we all know, spent the week at Camp David preparing for tonight's debate against former President Trump. On the way to Atlanta aboard Air Force One, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre hinted at Mr. Biden's game plan.
Whenever there's an opportunity for the president to speak directly to American public, in this instance, it'll be millions of Americans watching, he takes that opportunity very seriously. And he understands that Americans are going to be watching, wanting to hear from their president.
And, of course, the debate will be aired live here on Super Talk beginning at 8 p.m. Attorney General Merrick Garland was asked today about clashes that broke out outside a synagogue in Los Angeles last weekend. The Attorney General says the Justice Department and the FBI, they've been collecting evidence in the matter, saying the DOJ is taking efforts to combat anti-Semitic hate.
This Justice Department will do everything within its power, working with federal partners and state and local partners to secure the community's safety. And as Attorney General, I will do everything in my power to do that.
Back here in Middle Tennessee, TriStar Health has been approved to bring a full-service hospital to the growing city of Tennessee, Spring Hill, Tennessee. The $250 million facility is expected to bring more than 3,000 jobs to the communities in Williamson and Murray counties. It's set to be built on the same site as the existing TriStar Spring Hill ER that is on Reserve Boulevard. Spring Hill is reportedly Tennessee's largest city without a hospital. The Tennessee Health Facilities Commission approved the certificate of need for the project with a 6-2 vote. That is the latest news, traffic and weather. There next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionality, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com.
Well, good afternoon. Hour number 2 of the Drive Now kicking off at 9 minutes past the hour. Brian Wilson in the chair, coming to you live from Hop Springs and Murfreesboro. We're down the borough, and we're getting ready for a big evening of fun and festivities as people are starting to show up. You people out there, can you make a little noise so that people know that I'm ready? Yes, I'm not here alone. We got a good crowd already showing up out here at Hop Spring, coming real early. And so we're going to be here all the way until the debate starts at 8 o'clock. I'll be joined in the 6 o'clock hour. And some folks will drop by a little earlier. In the 6 o'clock hour, it'll be Dan Mandis and Chris Hand. Matt Murphy and I will be going from 6 until 8 o'clock tonight as we get ready for the debate. And then at 8 o'clock, the debate begins. In earnest, we're going to be able to carry the CNN feed. We've worked out all that. We got all the clearances, and that's going to be great. And so we hope that you will come on out. And boy, it's going to be a good time tonight. As you know, it's always fun. You go to a sports bar, and you watch a game with people who are all rooting for the same guy. Sort of like that tonight. You're going to be among friends who see the world largely the way that you do. So we'd love to have you come on out and be a part of that. This being brought to you tonight by the Glock Store. They are supporting our debate coverage and our debate show here today at Hop Springs. That's HOP, Hop Springs in Murfreesboro. All you need to do is show up. And then find yourself a place to sit down, order yourself a nice cold adult beverage, and settle in. It's got to be good. A lot of stuff floating around out there about the debate. Let me just start with a little bit of information for you about where we stand in the presidential race right now. Mark Penn is a Democrat pollster. He polled for Clinton a lot of years, and you might think, well, you can't believe anything that guy says, but you know what? The truth of the matter is, Mark Penn's a pretty smart guy, and he's somebody who has always played it pretty much with whatever the facts. These are the facts as I see them, and this is what I think. I'll let the numbers speak for themselves. And here we go. Harris Poll Chairman Mark Penn explained the current state of the 2024 presidential race and the risk the debate has for Donald Trump. Here we go. This is from RealClearPolitics.com, and it's a quote. My Harris poll showed Trump ahead for 5. I will poll after the debate to see what the impact is. But if the election were held today, I agree that Donald Trump would win. Does that mean he's going to win? There's so many events here. The debate, the most critical one. The election is within a couple of points. It could go either way if one of these candidates has a good or bad night in the next couple of months. Right now, Trump is ahead, no question about it. It means the debate is very risky for him because you never like being the front runner going into a debate. It's a good point, I think, for Mark Penn to make. Trump does have the back at his wind right now. I gave you the numbers earlier. I'll give them real quick this time. New York Times poll out with a direct matchup between Trump and Biden. Trump wins by 4. If you look at the 5-way matchup, which includes Trump, Biden, RFK, West and Stein, that's the 5. Trump wins by 3. That's general election numbers. I'm not big on general election numbers, but those are starting, again, there's a Quinnipiac poll that pretty much replicates that. Their 2-way, they have it Trump also at Trump plus 4. And for the 5-way, they have it at Trump plus 6. Most polls tend to show that when you add all 5 candidates in there, it hurts Biden more than it hurts Trump. And so Trump always tends to do a little better, not in all polls, but in most of them. And very quickly, Rasmussen had a poll the other day that, raised a few eyebrows. I don't know if this is an accurate poll or not. It may be an outlier. But they have Trump up by 9 in the 2-way and up by 10 in the 5-way. I don't know. We'll have to watch and see what happens there. So, clearly, the latest polling numbers that are coming out do tend to show that Donald Trump has the wind at his back. And really, you got to be careful when you're coming in and things are going pretty well to make sure you don't make any major mistakes. I think a lot of people are waiting to see which Biden shows up. Is it the angry Joe Biden? Is the stumbling, bumbling Joe Biden, or a new Joe Biden that we've not seen before? And what kind of Trump will we get? Will we get coming in with the fire and brimstone, just lay waste to the room kind of Donald Trump? Or are we going to get a Donald Trump who's, a little lower key than we might have normally seen him on the debate stage? All of that. Those are the big questions, I think. Nate Silver, who does 538.com, it really is it's sort of a left-leaning analysis of where the numbers are, but he has put out his own presidential election forecast, and Democrats are not going to be happy about it, according to PJ Media. Trump has a 66% chance of winning the election. 66% chance. And Biden has a 33% chance. So there you have it. Again, these things look pretty good. It's Trump's debate to lose, I would think, tonight. But it's really hard to overstate the importance of this particular debate. It really is. Here's a story that I found in the Daily Caller, which I bring to your attention. I think it's something we need to talk about. Both of CNN moderators have deep ties to intelligence officials who peddled now debunked conspiracy theories about former President Donald Trump. Now, all of those, the Russian dossier, it was political opposition work. It really wasn't anything to it. There wasn't a bit of truth to it. We all know that now. But boy, Jake Tapper and Dana Bash were intimately connected to former deep state officials who pushed the now discredited Steele dossier and the hoax that remember the reporting on Hunter Biden's laptop was a product of Russian election meddling. Remember all that? Well, they were right in the middle of all that kind of reporting. And these are the two that will preside over the first presidential debate. Tapper published a story based on a leak from James Clapper, former President Obama's director of national intelligence, indicating that Russia had hacked DNC emails on behalf of Trump and that the Trump campaign had coordinated with Russian officials, according to Real Clear investigations. Neither Tapper nor Clapper initially disclosed that his false reporting relied heavily on the now discredited Steele dossier. As for Dana Bash, she was married to Jeremy Bash, a former CIA chief in the Obama administration from 98 to 2007. Both Jeremy Bash and Clapper were signatories to that infamous 2020 letter from dozens of the former intelligence officials falsely attesting that the Hunter Biden laptop story broken by the New York Post had, quote, all the classic earmarks of a Russian disinformation operation. Turns out the Post was correct, and everybody who said it was Russian disinformation was incorrect. In fact, Hunter Biden was just convicted on gun charges based on evidence that came from that infamous laptop. As you know, the contents were later verified as authentic by various news outlets, including the Daily Caller News Foundation, who has provided this particular reading of events. Tapper actually won a Merriam Smith Award for broadcast journalism for reporting on Clapper's leaks. Now, he never officially disclosed his source, nor did he correct the record when Clapper lied to the American public, stating that the leaks had not come from the intelligence community. Clapper apparently repeated the same lie to then incoming President Donald Trump. So, again, these two have a little bit of history. Will Trump try to raise that? I think they did a preemptive strike the other day on this. Because remember when Trump's spokesperson got kicked off of CNN? When she tried to bring this up, it's been raised. I don't think Trump has to raise it. And, I'm sort of hoping that we don't look a lot backwards and look a little bit more forward in this debate as we go forward. Top 7 issues to watch for at the Trump-Biden debate. Which will the issues that be discussed? Democrats will try to make it all about abortion. This week marked the 2-year anniversary of Roe versus Wade being overturned by the Supreme Court. So Joe Biden will try to talk about Roe. And he'll try to talk about criminal trials, notably Trump's guilty verdict of 34 felony counts in that hush money case out of New York, the one that will be appealed. But Trump's got good issues to talk about as well. Illegal immigration is a bad issue for Biden. It is a great issue for Donald Trump. And they will try to talk about that. If you want to talk about the economy, that could be another one that will work well for Trump and not so well for Joe Biden. He'll try to make the case that the economy is not all that bad. And in fact, he's made great inroads. And all you have to do is simply look at the facts that groceries, cost of living on average up 20% since Joe Biden took the oath of office. Cost of gasoline earlier this week was up 44% over when Joe Biden took office. And those are the only things you got to do to remind them, and remind them. Biden will be likely pressed on the Israel-Hamas war, and the war in Ukraine, and Trump will no doubt try to talk about the danger in America and how Americans are not as safe as they once were. The FBI put out statistics trying, I think, to be helpful to Joe Biden, saying that violent crime is on the downward trend, but it sure doesn't feel that way to most Americans. They don't feel safe walking the streets of major cities in America. And then will they try to raise issues about energy and environment? Trump will talk about the electric vehicle mandate. He'll talk about raiding the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, all for political purposes. And Biden will try to warm up to the people who believe in his Green New Deal. So those are all some of the things that will be discussed as we move forward. We are starting to fill up here at Hop Springs. People are showing up, finding a chair, getting something to drink. Dan Mandis is in the room already. Dan Mandis looks surprisingly good in a cowboy hat. I would have never thought that, but it is true. He's wearing a cowboy hat, and he wears it well. Johnny B is in the house. Hey, Johnny B. Hey, man, everybody, say hello to Johnny B. And ladies and gentlemen, it must be hell freezing over. Ken Weaver is in the room, ladies and gentlemen, talking to the people in the back of the room. Ken Weaver, ladies and gentlemen. So people are starting to show up. You should be next. Walk in the door, get you a place to sit. We're at Hop Springs, 20 minutes now past the hour of 4 o'clock. Well, let me tell you about the folks over at Restoration Wellness and Med Spa. I'm telling you, good people who can help you achieve your summer goals. If you're trying to lose weight especially, why don't you call the Restoration Wellness team today at 615-470-8124 or visit them at their website, restorationwellnessmedspa.com, to book a consultation. My friends over there, Carly and Jamie, will take great care of you, treat you like you're one of the family. You can be part of the 1,000 patients who have already seen life-changing results from the weight loss management program. Weight loss can increase your energy levels, improve your quality of sleep, enhance your overall health. These are customizable treatment plans, not one size fits all. Restoration Wellness considers your unique needs, your lifestyle, and your goals. So whether your goal is to lose stubborn body fat or improve your overall health, Restoration Wellness has a solution for you. Why don't you learn about all the newest technology in weight loss management? Just go to their website and find out what they can do for you. I'm telling you, it's working for me. It can work for you too. RestorationWellnessMedSpa.com.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionability, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com.
The U.S. Justice Department today announcing another nationwide healthcare fraud crackdown. And we'll also have today's closing money news. That's coming up at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Jay Harper. Look forward to the news here in just a few moments. He's back there in the newsroom. Keep an eye on things for us. And Chris Weber is in the control room pushing all the blinky buttons, keeping us on the right track as we broadcast live today from Hop Springs. That's H-O-P, Hop, not Hot Springs. That's in Arkansas. Hop Springs is here in Murfreesboro, and it's a great place, great facility. People are starting to show up. We've got some of the key players at WTN are already in the room, and I must say, where's Dan Mandis? Dan Mandis back there wears a cowboy hat very well. I never have seen Dan Mandis in a cowboy hat before. But I tell you, I would have not guessed that he carries it off, Chris, as well as he does.
Does he have boots on, though?
I don't know. I can't see his feet. But he's way in the back. No, he does not. I guess tennis shoes. So there you have that. I'm Brian Wilson, your friend and radio buddy, and I'm going to be here until about 6 o'clock. And then I'll be joined by Dan Mandis and by Matt Murphy and by Chris Hand. And we're all going to be carrying on up until 8 o'clock when the debate begins here in Middle Tennessee. I understand you were telling me, I don't have a monitor, so you're telling me Trump has arrived in Atlanta.
Yep, the plane just arrived, the rolling staircase pulling up to the doorway right now of the Trump jet.
Trump Force One, It's called. Trump Force One has landed in Atlanta. So there were some people who said they didn't think he was going to show up. I could never imagine Trump not showing up. Just can't imagine that at all. But there were people who said that, and they proved to be wrong. I think it's really the real question for me, and as I've said before, I think the big question here today for me is which Trump shows up and which Biden shows up. You could get, it'll be very interesting to see. CNN has put some restrictions on things here. For example, they will now be sitting at a table. I mean, I thought initially I heard they were going to be standing, but apparently it's got worked out somewhere along the line where they're going to be sitting at the table. They're going to be not being able to talk when it's not their turn to talk. In other words, they have a mute on the mics, and they can turn the mics off when it's not your turn. So if you were to try to speak over someone, what you would get is a lot of you wouldn't hear it very clearly. And so that's going to happen. What we don't know is what's going to happen in the room during the commercial breaks, because CNN is actually running commercial breaks. And nobody will be in the room except CNN personnel. The White House Correspondents Association asked, can we have some people in the room as sort of witnesses for historical sake, and CNN said no. They were going to put what they call a pool reporter in there to just take notes and to report back later what happened during the commercial breaks, to tweet out or to write out what was happening in real time, the things that we're not going to see on television. If CNN is smart, and I don't know if they're smart enough to do this, I would do it like you do during a NASCAR race. When you go to commercial break, you pull the action back into another window, and then you do the commercials, and then when it comes forward, but you never lose the actual event. And now if they're smart, that's what they will do, because that will allow us to have a window into what's happening in the room during the commercial breaks. Some other people not very happy about the fact that CNN said we can't have witnesses in the room. The White House Correspondents Association traditionally works on things like that. But this isn't being handled by the Commission on Presidential Debates. This is CNN's baby, and they get to set the rules. They will allow other networks to carry the feed on a simulcast, but the other networks must run the CNN feed full. In other words, they can't squeeze it back and put their own commentary or their own graphics underneath it. It has to be CNN full, and I'm not even sure that they'll be able to tear away for the commercial breaks. They're not allowed to, during the commercial breaks, do any commentary. They're not allowed to do anything like that. So
I was just reading, Brian, the rules that they can air their own commercial breaks, but that's it.
Yeah. So, but that's it. And no, like, you're not going to hear Brit Hume come on at Fox during the breaks and talk about what just happened. No, that's not going to happen. So that's the way it's going to run, and it will be simulcasted on Fox It'll be simulcasted, I think, on ABC. I think I heard NBC, and a smattering of others around the country are going to carry the CNN feed live in its totality. So thank you for that about the commercials. I was wondering how that was going to work. There has been a rumor floating around on the internet this afternoon that says that there's going to be a 2-minute delay, but I can't find anything that says that authoritatively. Listen, in a moment, we're going to open up the phone lines if you want to get on the phone line now. We talked I asked you in the last hour, which Trump do you want to show up? Now, my second question for you, as we open up the phone lines at 615-737-9986, is which Biden do you expect to show up? 615-737-9986. Right now, 31 past the hour, time for the news.
Yes, good afternoon. We're coming up on 4:32, and I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. A mix of clouds and sun, 85 degrees on Music Row. We'll get you a full forecast and another traffic report here in a moment. The Metro Nashville Police Department has released a 911 call and body camera footage connected to a fatal officer-involved shooting in Bellevue this morning. The incident started after a man called 911 to report his brother, identified as 25-year-old Max Van Sickle, had attacked him with a knife.
He has cut me and put it up to my neck. I had to stop him from stabbing me. I only got cut a little bit on my hand from stopping that.
The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is investigating the stabbing that led to the shooting and killing of Van Sickle, who ran downstairs while armed with a large knife as responding officers approached the apartment in the early morning hours this morning. Following the shooting, all three of the officers involved have been placed on routine administrative assignment while the TBI investigation advances and the investigation continues. We now turn to today's closing money news with Chuck Sievertson.
From ABC News, Wall Street Now, an up day. The Dow up 36 points. The S&P 500 gained 5, and the NASDAQ index up 54. An update from the government said the American economy expanded at a 1.4% annual pace from January through March. It's a slight upgrade, though the slowest quarterly growth since spring of 2022. A report backed data from previous economic reports that show consumers are getting squeezed by persistent inflation and high interest rates. Consumer spending grew at just a 1.5% rate. Walgreens announced worse third-quarter earnings than expectations and slashed its full-year profit outlook. The company chief says they'll be closing possibly hundreds of stores. What would be the nation's largest export terminal for liquefied natural gas has gotten the okay of a federal energy panel. Venture Global's project still needs Department of Energy approval, and the Biden administration's put a pause on such project.
That is the latest news. Traffic and weather, they are next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
Let me tell you a little bit about the folks over at DT McCall and Sons. Listen, this is a great Middle Tennessee company that's been around for more than a century. I mean, honestly, think about that. Most family-owned businesses don't make it that long. And how come this one has? Well, because they have a great reputation for treating people right and treating people honestly and forthrightly when they do dealings with them. For example, if you go there and you say, hey, I like that couch, they're going to give you a good price on that couch. And guess what? They're not going to then charge you more for the delivery or the setup or the haul away of that old nasty couch that you don't want anymore. That's just the way they work. Appliances, same way. They don't play games with you. They're honest with you. You go to the big box store and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You know the games that they will play. And so no matter whatever you need furniture, you need appliances, you need a good mower, you need something to help you with your lawn work, you need a gun safe, whatever it is that you need, you're going to find it at DT McCall's. And here's another thing, real quick. They will do business whenever possible with other Middle Tennessee companies. So you're keeping your dollars local. You're giving your dollars to a Tennessee company that does business whenever possible with other Middle Tennessee companies. What's not to love about that? Find out about their 5 convenient locations by going to their website, dtmccalls.com.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
It is 39 minutes now past the hour of 4 o'clock. Hey, is anybody out there awake? Hello? Hey, we're live at Hop Springs in Murfreesboro, where we're getting ready for our big live broadcast tonight. Well, it's already live. We're already here. We're already live. But the big festivities will really kick off when the rest of the gang shows up here in the 6 o'clock hour. Matt Murphy will be here. Dan Mattis will be here. Chris Hand will be here. Dan Mattis is already in the room. Johnny B is here. Ken Weaver is here. So a lot of folks that you know from the radio station are already in the building. So come on by. I know they'd love to shake your hand and say hello. We're going to be here all the way until the debate starts at 8 o'clock. And then we will carry the debate live on CNN as a simulcast. All of the clearances have been made for us to do that. So you'll hear the debate as it happens right here on Super Talk 99.7. I'm opening up in the phone lines right now at 615-737-9986. And here's my question for you this time around. Last hour I asked, which Donald Trump do you think will show up? Which one do you want to show up? The one who comes in will be laying waste to the room as he can, and he's very effective at it, or the guy who'd be a little more low-key? And we got interesting comments. Somebody said a little of both would not be a bad thing. Now my question is for you at 615-737-9986. Tell me which Joe Biden you think will show up. Is it stumbling, mumbling Joe? Is it angry Joe? Is it a different kind of Joe? What do you think he'll do when he shows up, and what do you think his strategy will be? 615-737-9986. Got a lot of phone lines open, but Terry has been waiting patiently, calling in from Murfreesboro. Hello, Terry. You're on the line with Brian. So, Terry, tell me, which one of the Joe Bidens do you expect will show up?
Oh, I think the Joe Biden will be he'll be wide-eyed and bushy-tailed for about the first hour, and then everything's going to start wearing off, and then he's going to start crashing. But my bigger question is this: is can President Trump, can he refuse to sit? Does he have to sit, or can he just go ahead and stand and then sit during the commercial breaks?
You know, I think he's going to be wired in with what they call a lavalier microphone, a hard wire. He won't have a wireless microphone, and so I don't, or it'll be a microphone that's on the desk. I don't think he'll be able to walk away. Like a lot of times when he does that, he's got a wireless mic. I don't think he's going to have that. So I think he's going to be required to sit at the table, and I think that's all been worked out. Actually, hold on, I'm wrong about that. Excuse me. I'm going by what I was told in the early going. No, they're all going to be on a podium, and the podium will be mic'd, but he can't walk around. There's no sitting down. That was what the earlier thing was. No, he won't be sitting down. He'll be able to walk around. He'll have a microphone that's attached to the podium. If he moves away from the podium, he can't be heard. So I don't know what's going to happen. What I think is going to be interesting to see what happens in the commercial breaks. Does Joe want to sit down and rest, or does he stand up? But as far as I know, there'll be no chairs for them to sit in. They'll be standing for the full 90 minutes. And you're right. I think Joe's probably good for an hour. But the question is, when you're standing there for 90 minutes, is he up to the task? Great observation, and I'm sorry I got that confused for a moment. Janet in Nashville. Janet, you're on with Brian on the Drive. Janet, what's your thought about this? Which Joe Biden do you think will show up?
I think that we're going to get a cocky Joe because he knows that CNN is on his side. So, therefore, I think he's going to come out a little bit cocky and just to see if he can't get Donald Trump all stirred up. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I hope that Donald Trump doesn't take the bait. If bait is thrown, I hope he doesn't do it. Because honestly, he's got, as I said, the wind at his back right now. The numbers look pretty good for him in the battleground states and elsewhere. But I got to tell you, if Joe Biden has one really bad, memorable moment, he's going to be hard-pressed to get all the way to the election day as the nominee, I think. I think the party elders will step in if he has a bad night tonight. Thank you for that. We got phone lines open, 615-737-9986. Love to hear what your thought is. Which Joe Biden do you think? And what is your expectation for the the debate tonight? 615-737-9986. Love to get your thoughts. Sandra, out on the road. Sandra, what's your thought about tonight? What Joe Biden do you think will show up?
Well, there were a couple of reports out of Washington saying that we should be prepared for a different physical Joe Biden. So, what does that mean? Are we going to see a hologram? It could happen. I don't put it past them.
Yeah, I don't know, and he's not going to have anybody there, to give him talking points. He's not going to have anybody there apparently to provide direction if he gets lost or he stumbles. Will he be able to confer with his team during the breaks? Yeah, I guess that probably will happen on both sides. But other than that, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I think he's going to come in, and I'm sort of the school that we had in our first caller. That, you know what, he's going to come in, he's going to be strong for about an hour, and then watch what happens in the last half hour of the debate. Is he still strong after standing for 90 minutes, or does he start to wear down a little bit? I mean, one of the things we heard that they were trying to find out during the 7 days that Biden was squirreled away at Camp David, getting beat up by some 14 different advisors who were there to give him advice as to how he should handle himself, which I think is overkill. But nonetheless, that's one of the things they were apparently curious about is, can he stand for 90 minutes? Fair question. Sandra, thank you for the call. Greatly appreciate it. Bill, calling all the way up north from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Bill, you're on with Brian on the drive.
Hey, Brian, good to talk to you.
Same here.
The scenario that I haven't heard brought up anywhere is that I think we all agree that Joe is really not pulling the strings. Somebody above him is controlling things. So if the Dems, if they don't have any intention of replacing him at some point, they're going to pump him full of whatever it takes to make sure they get him through these 90 minutes. So I think he'll come out State of the Union Joe, maybe even stronger.
Yeah,
but if they're thinking about replacing him, they may just give him either a placebo kind of thing or maybe a lighter dose, something that gets him a third, 2/3 of the way through the 90 minutes, but didn't fail late. And then that would give him the reason, or give them the reason to replace him.
Yeah. I think that's why they had one debate very early in the process, and they're going to have another debate very late in the process. I think that's why they did, because if he washes out here, they have to have time to maneuver. I think everything's on the line a lot more for Joe Biden than it is for Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump would do well to not be too aggressive tonight and to let Joe Biden make his own mistakes. I really do think that's probably the way to go. But we'll see what happens. Again, you have to add for the possibility that both these guys, they really hate each other. I mean, that could come through. That could easily come through. John, out on the road. Hello, John. You're on with Brian on the drive. What do you say, John?
Evening, Brian. I think Biden will be presidential, and I think Trump will show up and leave the same as a convicted felon.
So you're obviously not a big fan of the former president.
The lifelong con man and grifter? No, sir.
All right. Thank you much for that, John. Always a pleasure hearing from the other side. Jim in Tullahoma, you're on with Brian on the drive. What do you say, Jim?
Hey, how you doing?
Well.
Wondered if anybody's mentioned about if any of this might be pre-recorded and there's nobody in the studio that's going to be able to tell them whether it's true or not, where they actually branch off, go to something that they've already pre-recorded during these 7 days.
No, I don't think that's possible, quite frankly. I mean, the way this is all being, we know that Trump just arrived in Atlanta, for example. He just arrived by, Trump Force One just landed. So he hasn't been in Atlanta. We know where he's been. We know where Joe Biden's been. You can't move the president without telling people. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think it is what it is. It's just going to be interesting to see which of these two candidates shows up and what their strategy will be. Thank you for that. D in Murfreesboro, you're on with Brian on the drive. Hey, D, what do you think?
Hey, how you doing, Brian?
Doing well.
I'm going to make this quick and easy for you. So that's not going to be Joe Biden. That's going to be some white guy with a full body tattoo of Joe Biden.
You don't think they would dare put him up there, do you?
No, sir.
Well, I don't know if they could get away with that, but I got to tell you, I think both of these guys are going to be coming in, and it's going to be interesting to watch. Now, again, the only people who will see, as far as I know right now, the only people who will see what's happening in the room during the commercial breaks are the folks at CNN. Unless they decide to do the thing like I mentioned before, the NASCAR thing where they pull back and leave the room, a wide shot of the room up during the commercial breaks, which I would hope that they would do. If you're smart at CNN, that's what you would do. But I'm not sure they're that smart. All right, so we're going to leave it right there. Great conversation. We're live at Hop Springs and Murfreesboro. Brian Wilson on the drive. It is now 50 minutes past the hour of 4 o'clock on Super Talk. You know, the clock is ticking on Genesis Diamond's amazing finance offer. You have until this Sunday, that's right, Sunday, to take advantage of the hottest offer of the summer. 5 years, 0% entrance financing. Get in now and splurge. Maybe treat yourself. If you're planning to propose, you can get that stunning designer engagement ring as low as $67 a month. Or a 3-carat lab-grown center diamond, just $99 a month. Pick any item, divide the price by 60, and that is your payment. People have driven for hours to take advantage of this, so don't be put off another minute. Buy that pre-owned Rolex or that designer ring or just a simple diamond pendant. Get the incredible price Genesis is famous for. Then spread the payments over 5 years, 0.0% interest. Are you getting this? This is insane. It's the smartest, easiest, and best way to buy. Nothing down, no interest for 5 years, but hurry. This incredible offer ends Sunday afternoon and will not be extended. Only at Genesis Diamonds, 2 locations, Green Hills and Cool Springs. On approved credit. Get more details at genesisdiamonds.com.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections. No lock boxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
The Nashville Police Department releasing a 911 call and body camera footage connected to this morning's fatal officer-involved shooting in Bellevue. We'll have some audio. Findings on whether college student Riley Strain was overserved the night he fell into the Cumberland River and passed away have been released, and a federal jury finding the NFL violated antitrust laws. We'll explain. That's all coming up at 5 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, it is now 58 minutes past the hour. We've got another hour to go here before I'm joined by all of the gang from Super Talk 99.7. So hang in there, everybody. A lot still ahead right here. We're gonna be broadcasting live from Hop Springs all the way to 8 o'clock. So stand by. In the meantime, let me ask you this question: how many times have you heard someone describe something as being the gold standard? Well, when it comes to finding an investment that protects you from runaway inflation, gold is the gold standard. It's a tried and true store of value consistent across generations. Maybe you've thought about adding gold or other precious metals to your portfolio, but you feel like, well, I don't really have the knowledge I need to make a smart decision. And I'm going to be real honest with you. That's the way I felt. But I got the professional guidance I needed at Nashville Gold & Coin. It works this way. You make an appointment. You sit down one-on-one with my friends at Nashville Gold & Coin. They answer all your questions and help you make the precious metals investment that is right for you. It's friendly. You'll learn a lot. You'll never be subjected to high-pressure sales pitches. Gold and silver can be a safe haven in uncertain economic times, and my friends at Nashville Gold & Coin are standing by to answer all your questions about the precious metals market. And if you have some old coins laying around gathering dust, bring them along. You might be surprised just how much they're worth. To set up that one-on-one appointment, just go to NashvilleGoldandCoin.com. That's NashvilleGoldandCoin.com.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lock boxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
Good afternoon. It's 5 p.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. We've got a mix of clouds and sun, 86 degrees on Music Row. A complete forecast and another traffic report are coming up in a few minutes. The Nashville Police Department releasing a 911 call and body cam footage that's connected to a fatal officer-involved shooting in Bellevue this morning. The incident began after a man called 911 to report his brother, identified as 25-year-old Max Van Sickle, had attacked him with a knife.
Hello, 911. Hi, my little brother is having a manic episode. He has tried to stab me with a knife. I don't know where he is. We're at Drive. He's somewhere in the lot, and I don't know where he is.
The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is investigating the stabbing that led to the shooting and killing of Van Sickle, who ran downstairs brandishing a huge knife as responding officers approached his apartment this morning. Following the shooting, all three of the police officers that were involved, they've been placed on routine administrative assignment while the TBI investigation advances and remains ongoing. Investigation by the Tennessee Alcoholic Beverage Commission found that college student Riley Strain was not overserved alcohol while visibly intoxicated at any of the Nashville bars before his tragic death back in March. The University of Missouri student went missing from downtown Nashville on March 8th after being asked to leave Luke Bryan's bar on Lower Broad for being intoxicated. Late this afternoon, the TABC released a report regarding this investigation, which included extensive interviews, reviewed purchase records, and extensive video footage provided by businesses from the evening of Strain's disappearance. The TABC investigation found that Strain became intoxicated over the course of the evening and that there was no clear evidence the college student was served an alcoholic beverage while visibly drunk at any one establishment. And finally, a federal jury finding that the NFL violated antitrust laws in its distribution of Sunday football games. Here's ABC's Mark Remillard.
The jury ordered the league to pay nearly $4.8 billion in damages after finding antitrust violations for distributing out-of-market Sunday afternoon games on a premium subscription service. The lawsuit covered 2.4 million residential subscribers and 48,000 businesses who paid for the package of out-of-market games between 2011 and 2022 on DirecTV. The lawsuit claimed the league sold the games package at an inflated price and restricted competition by only offering them on a satellite provider.
The NFL is expected to appeal the verdict. That is the latest news. Traffic and weather are next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionality, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. 7 minutes now past the hour of 5 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7. I am Brian Wilson coming to you live from Hop Springs in Murfreesboro, where we're getting a big crowd that is turning out for our big debate party here tonight, as we will be broadcasting live from 6 until 8 o'clock with all of the guys. It'll be me and Dan Mandis and Matt Murphy and Chris Hand will all be here bringing you, our thoughts as we work right up to 8 o'clock when the debate begins in earnest, and that will go for 90 minutes, and we are carrying the debate here on Super Talk 99.7. All of this being presented by the Glock Store. They're our sponsor here tonight, and we thank them for being a sponsor of this very important matter. Really, honestly, you have to look at this and say, this could be the thing that determines who wins the November election. I mean, it's not hoopla. I'm not overselling the point. It really could happen that way. If Biden has a bad moment, well, then you will no doubt know it, and that could ruin his chances to be reelected. And if Trump has a bad moment, the same is true. But I think most people are worried more about Biden than they are Trump. And what's really at stake here is, people's opinion. And what happens after this debate, the analysis and all of that will, I think, largely have a big determination in how this thing goes forward. If Trump does, he's already got the wind at his back. And it is at his back, or his back at his wind. I think I said earlier, his wind at his back, and so that would be great for him if he does okay, and if Biden does badly, honestly, even Democrats have said it's over for him. What Democrats will do and how they repair the damage is yet to be seen. But I wouldn't be surprised if we had another nominee if things go badly here tonight. So, again, come on out if you can. I mean, already in the house, Johnny B., Ken Weaver, Dan Mandis. I know that Matt Murphy will be here. He said he'd be showing up in the 5 o'clock hour, so he should be rolling up any moment now. And Chris Hand will be here as well. Cabana Wife is in the house, and she's being the social butterfly that she is, walking around and talking to all the folks. So there's that. Let's talk a little bit about something that's going on with regard to the debate, and that has been, this fight that CNN is having with the White House Correspondents Association. Now, you may not be aware of the White House Correspondents Association, who they are, but what they are basically it is an organization that is liaison between the White House and reporters, and it's an elected position. Kelly O'Donnell, I think with NBC News, is the current chairman, our president of the White House Correspondents Association, and they take up, when there are immediate issues about coverage, they take their case and they try to make the best out of it. So what has happened tonight is apparently CNN has told people that there can be nobody in the room, no witnesses in the room. There's not going to be any audience at all. Just two guys standing at a podium and the technical crew, a floor director. I don't think anybody else is going to be in the room. No audience whatsoever. And so a lot of people were saying, you know what, we need to have reporters in the room because, like, during commercial breaks and stuff like that, there may be things that go on, things that are said between the candidates. That's really important, needs to be reported. Can we have a reporter there? The word that came back was, no, you cannot. Well, now they've been told that they'll have one print reporter permitted to enter the studio during a commercial break to briefly observe the setting. White House Correspondents Association has said that is not acceptable. That won't work for us. It's not sufficient in our view, and it diminishes a core principle of presidential coverage. Now, I think if CNN were smart, what they would, and there's no indication that they have ever been smart, but if they were smart, what they'll do is what you do like during NASCAR coverage. You know, when they pull back the race into a small window, and then you run the commercials full with a little, bug in the corner that shows you what's going on. That would be great, wouldn't it? Because then you could see a wide shot of the room, what's going on, what's being said. You won't hear what's being said, but you could see if there's any interaction between the two. I don't know that they're going to do that. But one way or the other, they're not allowing anybody in the room. O'Donnell confirmed that both the Biden and Trump camps were open to having a pool reporter in the room, though the former president has his own rotation of journalists who travel with him. Biden and Trump's presidential debate Thursday in Atlanta is not only the earliest in history, will be conducted without an audience and with muted microphones if the candidates speak for more than their allotted time. The format came after negotiations between CNN and the campaigns and did not involve at all the Commission on Presidential Debates. I don't know how this will play out in real time, O'Donnell said. A pool reporter is there to observe what is said and done when the microphones are off or when either candidate is not seen on camera but may speak, gesture, move, or engage in some way. The White House travel pool has been included in past presidential debates, and we believe that standard of access is essential. Precedent matters for future debates. The White House Correspondents Association respectfully requests that CNN adjust its plan and welcome the White House travel pool print representative to witness the debate in full for the sake of the news cycle, for history, and mostly importantly for the American people. So really CNN getting ripped a new one by the White House Correspondents Association. I know you don't lose a lot of sleep over that. I do think it's important that there are witnesses in the room for history, to answer any questions about what happened when the microphones were off, what happened during the commercial breaks, what did they see. Just having that witness there adds context and depth to the reporting. Otherwise, it'll be interesting to see how CNN happens. There was, and you may have seen it, a lot of stuff on the internet that somehow this is going to be on a 2-minute delay or a 1-minute delay. I've seen a 30-second delay. I don't think I've seen anything that indicates that is going to hold. I don't think that's true, but if it is, we'll find out pretty quickly. I could see where CNN would say, you know what, I like the idea of all our competitors getting the feed 2 minutes on delay, but as far as I know, that's not going to happen. We'll find out if there's any truth to it, but the early reporting is that may have been bad reporting. So I don't think there's too much to that. The question, I think the big question that everybody is looking to answer is, okay, which Donald Trump shows up and which Joe Biden shows up? Do we get the Donald Trump who comes in, breathing fire and brimstone and laying waste to the room as he is capable of doing? And we all love that about him. A guy who doesn't, do things the normal way, calls things out, doesn't try to play nice and pretty politics. Or do we find a guy who is more strategic, maybe a little lower key? And then the big question is which Joe Biden will show up? Is it the Joe Biden from the debate who is angry and will shout at everybody for the next 90 minutes when the debate starts? Or do we get the Joe Biden that we normally see where he can't remember the name of his Secretary of Homeland Security, where he doesn't seem to know where he is, doesn't know where to go, what to do. He mumbles and he bumbles and he stumbles. So it'll be interesting to see which one we get for all of that. I'm telling you, there will be a massive audience in play tonight. A massive audience. I mean, the indications we're getting are that the American people are very deeply interested in this debate, and even people who maybe not follow politics a great deal say that they're going to be watching tonight. And I can tell you one thing: CNN will have larger numbers than they've had in a very long time as a result of this whole affair. AP writes a story that says President Joe Biden and his Republican rival Donald Trump will meet for a debate on Thursday that offers an unparalleled opportunity for both candidates to try to reshape the political narrative. Biden, the Democrat incumbent, gets the chance to reassure voters that at 81, he is capable of guiding the U.S. through a range of challenges. The 78-year-old Trump, meanwhile, could use the moment to try to move past the felony convictions in New York and convince an audience of tens of millions that he's temperamentally suited to return to the Oval Office. Biden and Trump, both in different ways, the Associated Press says, are facing fierce headwinds, including a public weary of the tumult of partisan politics. The tumult. 4 months till Election Day. Their performances will have the rare potential to alter the trajectory of the race. Every word and gesture will be parsed, not just for what both men say, but how they interact with each other and how they hold up under pressure. Debates do not tend to change voters' perceptions in ways that change their vote. that they ordinarily reinforce, not persuade, said Kathleen Hall Jameson, the director of the Annenberg Public Policy Center at the University of Pennsylvania and an expert on presidential communications. That's what I would want to be. I would like to have that title. That's a good title. The debate is different than is what you have in essence two incumbents about whom voters have very well-formed views, but that doesn't mean those perceptions are right or match what voters will see on stage. I think that perhaps you have to look at this. I think that she's right about one thing. I think it's entirely true that we know these guys pretty well. I mean, if you're a Republican or you're a conservative, you probably are pretty much in Trump's corner, and there's not anything in the world that's going to happen that will change your mind. If you're a Democrat and you're probably in Biden's corner, or at least as much in his corner as you can be, given how weak he is on the world stage. There are independents, however, and those people are what we call in the mushy middle, right? They go left sometimes, they go right sometimes. They can be persuaded. And it's the independents that I think really that they should be talking to tonight, because independents decide elections. Now, I know a lot of my friends don't like it when I say that, but it is true. Independents absolutely decide who's going to win an election. As the independents go, so goes the election. Trump has a lot of things going in his favor right now. The issues around the country that people are concerned about most, the situation on the border, the situation on immigration, the economy, all of those things that are things that will work to Trump's favor and work against Biden. And so Biden, I think, really the only thing he can do is try to talk about how Republicans will change, abortion law and what their plans are. And all of that. I think they will be trying to make that point, again, trying to persuade not you, the people listening to my voice, but the people in the middle who sometimes can be persuaded by those kinds of things. So these are the things we're looking at as we get closer and closer to debate time. Again, starting in the 6 o'clock hour, Chris Hand, Dan Mandis, and Matt Murphy will be joining us. In fact, Chris is here with me now. Hey, Chris, is your microphone on?
Yes, sir. How we doing?
We're doing okay. How you doing?
Man, it's going to be fun tonight. Are you looking forward to this or what?
I am looking forward to this. I mean, look at all the people. There's Johnny B.
Johnny B's in attendance. Dan Mandis is here. Dan's got a nice shirt on, you guys.
And a cowboy hat.
Oh, yeah.
And he's wearing a cowboy hat, but no cowboy boots. We need to work on that, Dan. But Ken Weaver, who never shows up, is in the building.
Oh, Ken Weaver. Oh, my goodness.
Well, it's Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
He didn't have to very far to go.
The people love Ken Weaver in the borough, don't they?
They absolutely do.
Amen.
All right, we're gonna take a break. It is now 20 minutes past the hour of 5 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7. All right, Grace Point Healthcare, start thinking about back to school now. I mean, if you're thinking about that, kids need a back to school. They need inoculations. They need sport physicals. Grace Point provides complete physicals for kids of all ages. Scheduling an international vacation or a mission trip. I know a lot of people have been on those this year. Grace Point offers complete travel immunizations and is CDC certified for yellow fever and all other international immunization protocols. And this is huge, I can't overstate this, because they will see you the same or in some rare cases the next day, you don't have to wait days or weeks to see a doctor. I mean, that's modern medicine at your convenience. And that's when you talk about Grace Point, they are affordable. Their health care that they bring to you is comprehensive. And it's convenient because you can see a doctor in pretty short order. And it's delivered the old-fashioned way. They're located on Main Street in Franklin. Here's the number, 615-599-6868. Again, that's 615-599-6868 to set up an appointment.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionability, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com.
Secretary of State Blinken speaking on U.S. aid for the people of Gaza today. A California pharmacist, he's in a lot of trouble for allegedly submitting millions of dollars of false claims. And the name of a MTSU campus building, will it change? We'll let you know. Those stories coming up at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
And it's 25 minutes now past the hour of 5 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7. Brian Wilson in the house at Hop Springs in Murfreesboro, where we're doing our live broadcast. And in the next hour, I'll be joined by Dan Mandis and Chris Hadd, who just walked in here just a few moments ago. I haven't seen Matt Murphy show up yet, but he'll be along any minute now. And we'll be doing, all four of us will be carrying on between 6 and 8, and then we'll begin the debate at 8. But we won't probably have a chance between now and then to talk to my next guest, someone that I adore, someone that I just think the world of. You know him, you love him, you can't live without him. Ken Weaver. Hello, Ken.
Hello, Brother Brian Wilson.
Hey, people are turning out here in the borough.
Yes, sir. Murfreesboro, yes, sir.
Yeah, I talk and they go about drinking their drinks. When you talk, we get an applause. That's the way.
Well, we all know we are all survivors of I-24.
Yeah.
Between Murfreesboro and Nashville.
Right.
So
you have that in common.
We're kindred spirits.
You're looking well today.
Well, thank you, sir.
Did you get a little nap after the show this morning?
I got a little nap. I got about an hour and a half nap, in fact.
That's exactly what you want. You want any more than that?
Then that's right. Then I'd be ruined. Because I remembered your lesson, dude.
Yeah.
Whenever when the original gang of Three Amigos, man, you would always talk. When the alarm goes off, get up.
Right.
Don't dilly-dally around.
Yeah.
So I don't.
And sleep in 90-minute increments.
Yes.
That's the way it works. If you sleep in 90-minute increments, then that's a normal sleep cycle. It's 90 minutes. You sleep more than that. You don't want to wake up in the deep part of your sleep.
And then you left the morning show, and now you wake up around 10:30, 11 o'clock every day.
Then I have a cup of coffee, a little bite of lunch, and then I have to have the difficult commute to go about, 50 feet over to the city.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm not complaining. It's good to have you. So,
It's good to be here.
I know that, we don't ask you to give opinion, but, just from a newsman's perspective, this is a huge story.
This is the most important debate in the history of presidential debates. I think what is incredible to watch, every morning whenever I get in, I start perusing, through our network, which is ABC. And I love to watch how they are spinning each story on this election. I have to look at that, and then I have to go through other sources in order to get to what is actually going on, what former President Trump actually said, and in what context.
Right.
And that is going to be the case tonight. And this is kind of why I was a little worried whenever Trump was so fast to agree to this debate, because it just seemed like he was just agreeing to everything that the Biden campaign wanted. But I truly think that America has awakened since 2020. And I honestly think that Trump is going to win tonight, this debate, simply because the only thing the Democrats have is to try to paint him as a threat to democracy.
Right.
And nobody's buying it. You go to the grocery store. My wife and I, we're spending probably $700, $1,000 more a month than we were back whenever Trump was in office. And that is the issue right there. It's the economy.
No, you're right.
It's the immigration. And this morning, the polls show Trump's leading in those two top issues by 12%.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the issues that people care about most work to Donald Trump's favor.
Right.
So they're going to, I think what they're going to try to do, quite frankly, is just scare people.
Absolutely. That's what they're doing right now.
That's all they seem to have in their bag of tricks right now, is to scare orange man bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and you've got Trump, who's going out and he's meeting real people while Biden's riding around on Hollywood elites' boats.
That's right. Well,
and America sees that. Working men and women see that, and that's who's going to push us across the goal line in November, I think.
There you go. Ken Weaver, ladies and gentlemen, in the room. Thank you. Listen, Ken, it's always, you know how much I love you.
Brother, I love you too,
I'm
man.
so glad that you're here today.
I love you too.
It is now 5:30, time for the news on Super Talk 99.7.
Good afternoon. It's 5:30. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. Hey, it's mostly sunny now, 86 degrees, the latest traffic report, and another weather forecast are on the way. Secretary Antony Blinken welcoming the UN Senior Humanitarian and Reconstruction Coordinator for Gaza to the State Department today. Secretary Blinken stressing the urgent challenge of delivering and distributing aid for people in Gaza.
We continue to face the challenge of aid getting to and into Gaza, but then not being able to be distributed effectively because principally of real security challenges.
On the U.S. West Coast, a pharmacist in California facing charges that could get him 20 years in prison for allegedly submitting hundreds of millions of dollars in fraudulent claims to a state health care benefit program for low-income individuals. ABC's Alex Stone reports from California.
36-year-old Carlos McHale is accused by federal prosecutors here in L.A. of using his pharmacy to submit over $300 million in Medi-Cal claims for prescription medications a patients either didn't need or never actually got. Prosecutors say he committed massive fraud against a public health program for the state's neediest residents. He allegedly billed Medi-Cal for high reimbursement, non-contracted generic drugs, some allegedly to treat pain.
Back here in the mid-state, Channel 4 reports the Tennessee Historical Commission has rejected Middle Tennessee State University's attempts to rename a campus building named after a Confederate general tied to the Ku Klux Klan. The building, Forrest Hall, is named after Nathan Bedford Forrest, a Confederate general who was known for slave trading and believed to be the first Grand Wizard of the Klan. That's according to MTSU and History.com. The historical body rejected the university's waiver that would allow the university to change the name with an 11-6 vote with 3 abstentions. It would have taken a unanimous vote to secure the waiver and make the change. That is the latest news, traffic, and weather. There next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
Hey, have you ever noticed how unreliable things have become these days? Like when someone tells you, hey, that thing you want will be ready at 4 o'clock, just swing on by, and you get there, and guess what? It's not ready. If you've had it with unreliable vehicle repair shops, you play that game quite a bit. Why don't you come to Eurofix? Eurofix will have your vehicle ready when they say it's going to be ready, so you're not standing around wasting your valuable time. Eurofix repairs all European cars with quality that beats the dealer and without dealer pricing. And that's because dealer repair shops are designed to pay virtually all of a dealership's overhead, and that is a lot of money. Why would you want to pay for that? At Eurofix, reliable means a 3-year nationwide warranty plus a free loaner car with every repair appointment. Make sure you call ahead as loaner cars are very popular. If you're tired of unreliable vehicle repair shops, come to where it is reliable. Eurofix, family-owned for 24 years. Visit their website, myEurofix.com, or give them a call at this number, 844-EUROFIX. That's 844-EUROFIX.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lock boxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
It is 37 minutes now past the hour. Hey, everybody, let's make a little noise. Let people know that you're here. Here at Hop Springs, Brian Wilson bringing you live coverage as we get ready for the debate tonight at 8 o'clock. And as I mentioned, we got about 23 more minutes before I'm joined by all the guys, and we will carry on for the next 2 hours, pre-debate coverage. And then when 8 o'clock rolls around, you'll hear the debate right on Super Talk 99.7. I do need to mention one thing. And by the way, people have told me, why do you keep putting your hand in front of the camera? Well, it's my laptop, folks. I'm sorry. I gesticulate a lot. So I'm sorry if you're on TV and you're tired of looking at my old rickety hand.
Stop it.
Stop. You don't like it when I do that. Okay. But so we're so glad that we've got this group here tonight to watch the debate. But anyway, I want to mention that at 8 o'clock when the debate starts, we're not allowed to carry the debate on Super Talk TV. That's not acceptable under our agreement. So you'll hear it on the air. But you will not be able to see it on Super Talk TV. So our feed from Hop Springs will go down at 8 o'clock, and then you'll be able to hear the debate on Super Talk 99.7 after that. All right. I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the phone lines one more time before we bring the rest of the team in here at 6 o'clock. And here's my question for you. Just what are your expectations tonight? I think it's hard to undersell this thing. I think when you really understand how important this is, you're going to have a real understanding that this really could change the everything in this election. This is very high stakes. I would say more for Joe Biden than it is for Donald Trump, but it's high stakes nonetheless. And so, I want to know what your thoughts are. 615-737-9986. Let's get your thoughts. What you're expecting to happen tonight. I've asked the question, which Donald Trump do you want? Which Joe Biden do you expect? So let's get on the phone lines right now at 615-737-9986. I'm hoping we have a lower key Donald Trump. I think it would play well for the votes that are still undecided. I mean, if you're within the sound of my voice, the chances are you are a conservative. And if you're a conservative and you're within the sound of my voice, chances are you're 100% on board with Donald Trump. So you need to look at this thing different from your own individual perspective. What is the strategically smart thing to do? And I think coming in a little cooler, I don't mean completely cold, but a little cooler than he normally would be a good thing, because the people who are yet undecided, most of those are independents. You're not going to win over many Democrats. Right now, you've got the poll numbers that are in your favor. New poll numbers came out today. New York Times Siena poll says that if the election were held today, Trump would win by 4 general election numbers. If it's a 5-way matchup, Trump wins by 3. That comports well with other polls that have come out recently that shows that Donald Trump has the wind at his back. He really does. He has the wind at his back. So I would say that if you come in a little cooler, you get a chance to maybe persuade some people who have yet to make up their minds. So 615-737-9986. A lot of open lines right now. Let's fill them up. We'll start with Nicole in Nolensville. Hello, Nicole. You're on with Brian on the Drive. Nicole, what do you want to see happen tonight? What do you expect to happen?
I want to see, I agree with you. I want to see the more reserved Donald Trump to let Joe trip up over his own feet. I want to see State of the Union Biden, but without having Marjorie Taylor Greene snap him out of his stupor. Because but for that, I don't think he would have kept on spiraling. So hopefully Trump has that in the back of his head that as much as he wants to jump in, he has to let Biden kind of stumble on his own and not trigger him out of that.
I think you're right. And I think one of the things that's going to be interesting to see, is just how he handles it when Biden makes an obvious mistake. I'll say it again, I was really impressed with the advice that was given by media consultant Alex Castellanos, a Republican conservative media analyst, and his suggestion was that when he makes a mistake, don't just pounce on it. Simply say, Joe, I know you're confused. Let me see if I can help you remember a few things that you obviously have forgotten. If you do it that way, it's devastating because you are making the point that he makes a lot of mistakes. And it would be, I think, a brilliant strategy to do that. I know you're confused. Let me remind you. Maybe you don't remember, Joe, but this is the fact, and this is a fact, and this is a fact. And I'll help you through it, Joe. Just relax. We'll get through this. I'll help you get through this, Joe, when you make mistakes. Don't worry. I got you back there, Joe. I mean, something like that would be brilliant. Let's go to Aaron out on the road. Hello, Aaron. You're on with Brian on the drive. Aaron, what do you think?
Hey, Brian. I really second your previous speaker in saying I think Trump gains a lot of ground just by sticking to his yes or no point and sticking to his policies and just shutting up when the mic's not on. Because I think the left has really started to kind of promulgate this idea of deep fakes, and with nobody else in the room, nobody's going to be able to kind of disseminate what is actual fact and what actually was said. With all the AI and availability that we have technology-wise, I think Trump should just surprise everybody and say, yes is yes, no is no, this is my policy, and the end of it.
Yep, I think you may be right there. Aaron, thank you for the call. Thoughtful stuff. Jeff in Tracy City. Jeff, you're on with Brian on the drive. What's your thought about this, Jeff?
Hey, Brian. Good afternoon. Thanks for taking my call. I just have two brief comments to make, and then I'll bow out and listen to your response. First of all, I just want to re-echo what some of the previous callers are saying about Trump needing to just go in and stick to facts and not try to get too crazy up there and just kind of let Joe be Joe. And second of all, I'm really nervous about the setup of this CNN debate. I don't like it. It stinks to high heaven. I don't like the fact that nobody's allowed to be in there, and they have reserved for themselves a 2-minute delay. They can make a whole lot of stuff go away in 2 minutes, and I don't think that's fair to the American people.
I want to answer the 2-minute thing because I did hear that going in, and I know it's all over the internet. I have not been able to find anything authoritative on that. I don't know that's accurate. And I don't want to bore you with a lot of technical detail about how television works, but I know this, that even if there were a 2-minute delay, it's virtually impossible then to edit out things that wouldn't be noticed in the 2-minute time that you have available. So, look, I don't know what's going to happen. I've heard that the 2-minute thing is not true. I don't know if it is true, but so far nothing authoritative has been written about that, and I don't think it is true. I don't think there's going to be a 2-minute delay or a 30-second delay. I mean, there is a built-in satellite delay, but that doesn't impact anything. There's always going to be, from the time the words are spoken to the time you hear them on CNN, that's already about 15 seconds by the time it goes through all the satellites and gets to your TV. So I don't think that's going to be a thing. And if I'm wrong about that, then I'll eat my hat later. But I don't think that is going to happen. And as far as the stuff in the room, I'm with you on that. Now, it's not clear to me what CNN is going to do. Are they going to do the pullback thing where you can see a wide shot of what's happening while the commercials are running in another box like they do on NASCAR? I think that would be interesting to see. But I don't know if they're going to do that or not. But they have said no except to one print reporter in the room for a limited amount of time to have some observations about how the room is set up, etc. Thank you for the call, man. Jerry in Murfreesboro. Jerry, where are you? We're down here at Hop Springs. Where are you?
Well, I'm on my way back from Chattanooga, so I'm on 24 right now.
All right, good. Well, what's your thought then?
Well, I'm with you with as far as Biden, them replacing him. I'm actually hoping he does good because I'm a little bit nervous about him doing terrible and hanging himself, and then they replace him. I'd rather Trump face him than anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, there is that. Look, I'm not hoping that he gets replaced. I just feel like, as an analyst, I have to be honest with you. I can't imagine if he has a bad night tonight. I just can't imagine that the Democrats will stand by and do nothing. I want to make sure everybody understands that. I'm not itching to have him replaced. That's not what I want. But I know how these folks think, and I know how much they hate Trump. God, they hate Trump. And so I just have a feeling that if he has a bad night, that it will be out of his hands, that they will come to him and they'll say, look, it's not going to happen for you, Joe. We just need to We need to make some changes here. I just feel like that they will not go into an election that they feel like they have a pretty good chance of losing. That's the way it feels to me. All right, thank you, Jerry, man. I appreciate the call. Chase in Murfreesboro. Hey, Chase, you're up with Brian on the drive. Give me your thoughts there, Chase. What do you think is going to happen tonight?
I think that if President Trump comes in and is very Ronald Reagan presidential and lays out a clear plan for his vision for America, I think that Joe Biden crumbles, completely crumbles. If he comes in there as a New York street fighter, it's going to turn off the independent vote, and that's not good either.
I think you've got something there, and it will be surprising. I think Biden is expecting him to be pugnacious or come on very, very strong, if he surprises everybody. Biden might even comment about it. Oh, Joe, I mean, everybody's worried about the drugs I'm taking. What drugs are you taking tonight, Donald? He might do something like that. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Thank you for the call, Chase. Appreciate it. And let's see, with the time I have left, let's pick up Mr. Bill in Hendersonville. Mr. Bill, what do you say? What's on your mind? What do you think is going to happen tonight? Your prediction?
Well, Brian, I tell you, I would love to join you guys, but why in the world are you holding from Hot Springs, Arkansas? I love you guys, but that's just way too far to drive.
Well, okay, but nonetheless, what do you think is going to happen?
What I'd like to see happen is halfway through, Donald Trump pulls out a flamethrower and hits Biden in the face, and it melts just like in the Raiders of the Lost Ark, revealing the cyborg that they replaced Joe Biden with during the week that he was at Camp David.
That's a very colorful picture that you paint there. All right, Mr. Bill, thank you so much for the call. I really appreciate it. All right, so there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We are live at Hop Springs in Murfreesboro, where people are showing up for the debate tonight. There's some rowdy women down front here. One of them is dressed in pink and looks a lot like my wife. So there you have that. We'll be bringing you all kinds of coverage, and then when I come, we're going to take a break. I have some spots that I need to sell, and then when we come back at the top of the hour after the news, I'll be joined by Matt Murphy, who just arrived, by Chris Hand, and by our good friend Dan Mandis from The Morning Show. So stay with us, everyone. It's about to get really interesting here in the borough. It is 50 minutes past the hour of 5 o'clock. A question from the folks at Beacon Capital Management. Are your retirement assets structured to minimize taxes? Might be hard to believe, but many hardworking Americans just like you could be overpaying on your taxes in retirement. You could be taxed on your IRA, your 401k, and any other tax-deferred retirement accounts. Beacon Capital Management, though, is here to give you peace of mind. With the threat of massive tax increases just around the corner, your nest egg could be in trouble unless you take advantage of defensive tax-saving strategies now. Defend your hard-earned retirement savings by scheduling a free retirement tax reduction analysis today. No cost, no pressure, no obligation. If you've saved more than $250,000 for retirement, do not wait a moment longer to schedule your free retirement tax reduction analysis from Beacon. Here's the number. Write this down, 615-488-9303, or visit askbeaconnow.com.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
Let me tell you about the folks over at United Structural Systems, a good company. They've been around for, are you ready? I think it's now 30 years. 30 years. It's amazing. As of June, middle of June, they've been in business in this area since, 1994. They have more than, I guess it's getting close to 30,000 satisfied residential customers. So they're the place you want to go if your foundation is giving you problems. And you'll know the signs, bricks cracking, walls bowing, doors or windows that stick, drywall separating, stair-step cracks in masonry mortar joints. You see these things? Give them a call right away. You need to get them on board and out there trying to figure out what your problem is. And I think the other thing that they're well known for, if you have concrete that is sinking, like sidewalks or driveways or patios, or maybe the concrete pool deck is creating a trip hazard, they can fix that. And here's the thing: it's less expensive than replacing it. To lift it, don't replace it. Raise it. That's what you want to do. So if you've got any of these problems, or you have waterproofing issues or mold issues in your house, 615-488-7855. Again, that's 615-488-7855. You can learn more about this great company that's been around for 30 years now just by going to their website, ussTN.com.